Hello, welcome to Mr. Hanson Math. I'm Mr. Hanson. Let me help you with some math. Today we're going to learn about subtracting fractions. Like my adding fractions video, it's kind of complicated process, but you're going to be fine. I'm going to lay it out, all the steps, and you're going to be okay, but I'm just giving you a heads up. And it's a bit of a longer video like my adding fractions as well, because I'm going to do a lot of problems. I think it's relatively straightforward once you get the process, but once you get the process, you're going to be okay, but I'm still going to do a bunch of problems anyway to help you out. The first thing is mandatory though, you have to watch my adding fractions video. I'm not going to do that video again in this video to waste everybody's time. I'm going to be respectful of the time of the people that already watched that video and they are ready to go to subtract fractions. So let's get started. I'm going to write down some of the things you need to treat the denominator like it's a unit. I'm going to write down a bunch of stuff here to get you ready to go, and I'm going to solve some problems in the extra space that we got. The denominator you need to treat like a unit. We're going to subtract fractions, and I'm going to put the steps. I'm going to add one extra step compared to my adding fractions video, so it'll be 4 steps instead of 3. Adding fractions requires you to do one thing first, and let me get them on here so we're ready to go. All right, so again, from my adding fractions video, you know that step 1 was multiply by 1. We're going to use the opposite denominators. We'll do the same thing with subtract fractions. Step number 3 was add the numerators. Those are the numbers on the top of the fraction. And step number 3 was combine denominators, keep the denominators the same. What I did is added a new step on here is two pen strokes. And if you watched my subtracting integers video, which you again have to watch, I'll link that right now. You need to watch. It'll pause this video, you watch it, and then you come back, pick this video up right where you left it. But you have to watch my subtracting integers video to learn how to do 2 pen strokes, when, and what it means. Because I'm gonna pretend in this video that you've already seen my adding fractions video and you've already seen my subtracting integers video. And let me put one more thing on here for going to war. The 2 categories of going to war. Okay, so this is when we're going to war. I'll refer to all this stuff later. I'm just writing it down now, so it's set, and you can always be able to see this while we're working out using the rest of the space. Let's get started with 7 halves minus 3 halves. Okay, 7 halves minus 3 halves. We're going to be subtracting fractions. Again, treat the denominator like a unit. What would be 7 cars minus 3 cars? That would be 4 cars. 7 cars minus 3 cars would be 4 cars. You would subtract the numbers, 7 minus 3, and the cars you would leave the same. You wouldn't say 7 minus 3 is 4 cars. The heck is a car? What is like a limo? You let 2 cars, you got limo. What? That doesn't even make sense. Okay, so the halves is like the cars. You don't change them. That's what I'm saying, keep the denominators the same. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to follow these steps. 2 pen strokes plus a negative. Every time I see a subtract, I'm putting 2 pen strokes. So 1, 2. Now I'm adding fractions, and I can do that because I watched the video. I don't have to solve this problem anymore. The video's over. It's not over because I know you didn't watch that video. So I'll just try and help you out. The bottom line is, step number 2 we're going to skip for quite a while we solve some more problems, but I'll get to step 2 when we need to. But right now we have a common denominator. Common means everybody has one. The denominator, everybody has a 2. So we have common denominators. When we have that, we can skip this step number 2. So we're going to go straight to step number 3, add the numerators. Add the numerators. Numerators are the number on top of the fraction bar. So sin plus negative 3, I know from adding what are they called? Adding integers video. My adding integers video says that I need to go to war, and if they're on the opposite team, I take the big number minus the small number. So sin minus 3. I got 7 good guys lined up on this side. I got 3 bad guys lined up on this side. They go to war. The 3 people shoot each other, and so I got 7 people. 3 of them died. I have 4 left. Now I got to figure out what team they're on. I got to figure out what team. Big number minus small number. 7 minus 3 is 4. The good guys had more people on their team, so they win the war. And then I got to do this last step, keep the denominator the same, 2, 2, 2. So we're saying like 7 cars minus 3 cars would be 4 cars. 7 halves minus 3 halves would be 4 halves. You keep that denominator, treat it like a unit. Okay, 4/5 minus 1/5. 4/5 minus 1/5. Step number 1, 2 pen strokes. I will not subtract. And the reason is, I'll tell you why. The reason is subtraction causes a lot of errors for people new to math and it has been a while or something. Negatives, they just bite you for years. It's not something you pick up in just a day or 2 or something like that. For years, they mess up negatives and subtraction, all that kind of stuff. Not my students. My students pick it up very quickly because we just don't do the subtraction. We do 2 pen strokes. Get rid of that subtraction. 1, 2. I can add, I'm good at that. So let's keep going. I'm going to skip step number 2 because we have common denominator. Go to step 3, add the numerators, that's the number on top. 4 good guys plus 1 bad guys. I got 4 good guys, 1 bad guys. These guys shoot each other. I got 3 guys, and they're on the good guy team because they won. When you're on the opposite team, positive and negative is opposite teams. An opposite team, you take the big number minus the small number. 4 minus 1 is 3. And then fifths, keep the denominator the same. Fifths. 4 fifths minus 1 fifth equals 3 fifths. Or 4 fifths plus negative 1 fifth equals 3 fifths. And that's that problem. Let me write it out in words for you, like the units. I would say 4 fifths minus 1 fifths. 4 fifths minus 1 fifths would be 3 fifths. Just like I see up there, 3 fifths, 3 fifths. Add up the numbers, again, 2 pen strokes, and then keep the unit the same. Okay, so what if it's all negative and for subtraction, all this stuff? What if you got negative 3/8 minus 1/8? Negative 3/8 minus 1/8. Just follow my steps. I'm telling you, it is complicated. It is a big process. But you are sophisticated now. You know the steps. 2 pen strokes. Get rid of that subtraction. 1, 2. Well, that took less than 1 second. Don't complain about that. Just do it because it'll be for your benefit. 2 pen strokes. Add common denominators, so skip number 2. Go to number 3, add the numerators. 3 bad guys plus 1 bad guys. Different this time. Different this time. When you have bad guys plus bad guys that are on the same team, and they're going to team up, you need to add them together. If I got 3 bad guys, I got 1 bad guys, I now have 4 bad guys. I got 3 bad guys plus 1 bad guys, I got 4 bad guys. So when they're on the same team, you just add them up. Okay, and then step number 4, keep the denominator the same, 8, 8, 8. Negative 4/8 is the answer. I'm going to simplify it right now. I'm not going to explain how to simplify fractions in this video again because it's getting too long. Just watch my simplify fractions video. But right now I'm going to do it in my head because you need to simplify a fraction. So I will do it because it's proper, but I'll explain it in a separate video. Okay, what if you got negatives, subtracting more negatives, all kinds of garbage? Guess what? You don't care. Not only I don't care, I hope you don't care at this point. Negative 11 cents minus negative 5 cents. Negative 11 cents minus negative 5 cents. 2 pen strokes. 2 pen strokes, I'm telling you. If you already watched my subtracting integers video, if you watch my subtraction integers video, you know how to handle a minus and negative. You do it with 2 pen strokes. 1, 2. 1, 2. It's just adding, you guys, and we can do it now. Common denominator. Step number 1, 2 pen strokes, done. Step number 2, skip. Step number 3, add the numerators. 11 bad guys plus 4 good guys. 11 bad guys plus 4 good guys. Now, what I got to do if they're on the opposite team, big number minus small number, 11 minus 4. Again, you nerds piping up in the back saying, negative 11 is actually smaller than 4. I know. Again, I referred earlier, talking about the absolute value. So, 11 minus 4 is cn. And the bad guys win. The bad guys win, so that's negative cn. And we add the numerators, done. We got to keep the denominator the same, cn, cn, cn. That simplifies to negative 1. The answer is negative 1. Okay, I'm telling you, even though it's a lot of steps, you see how little, we're not using that much space, really. It's not that bad. I kind of set you up like it's pretty bad. It's actually not that bad. It's not that bad. But the problem is when your denominators are not the same. For instance, 3 fourths minus 1/3. 3 fourths minus 1/3. Now they're not common. They're uncommon denominators or unlike denominators. Somebody might call them uncommon or unlike. Same thing. They're not the same. Because again, common denominators means everybody has one. Oh, everybody's got an 8 for a denominator. Everybody has a 2 for a denominator. Does everybody have a 4 for it? No, this guy doesn't. So it's not common. It's not common. What we got to do is make them common, and that's where step number 2 comes from. And if you already watched my add fractions video, I bet you're chomping at the bit. You know exactly what I'm going to write down right here. You already know. So let me put it. Take a peek. Take a peek. And that's where this comes from. Multiply by 1. You can multiply any number times 1, and it will not change the value. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to multiply this fraction times 1. I'm going to multiply this fraction times 1. In order to find the 1, what I'm going to use is use the opposite denominator. Denominator is the number on the bottom of the fraction bar. So this 4, this girl, she's looking over at that boy. He's a tree. Hey, you just take what you can get sometimes. So he's a tree. I'm going to multiply by tree divided by tree. Any number divided by itself except for 0. Any number divided by itself except for 0 is 1. And so all I'm doing is taking this fraction and timesing it by 1. This fraction will also be times by 1. I need to use the opposite denominator, so the denominator is the one on the bottom. So that's a 4. She's better looking than you, so back off. She's a 4, so good. So times this by 4 over 4. Any number divided by itself, except for 0, is 1. And all I'm doing is I'm just changing the look of these fractions. They will equal the same value, just changing the look. Then you multiply straight across, essay. Multiply straight across. Tree times tree is 9. Tree times 4 is 12. 2 pen strokes. Doggone it, I didn't do step 1. And that was an honest mistake. Actually, sometimes I do that on accident. This was an honest mistake. I hope that you saw it before I did. Let me go back to the steps. Step number 1, 2 pen strokes. 1, 2. Not going to botch this. Okay, step number 2, multiply by 1 on the opposite side. Okay, opposite denominator. Okay, got that. I got to multiply. Bring down a plus, always bring down a plus. That's what got me. I know I don't bring down a subtraction. I saw the subtraction. That's what caught me, because I always bring down a plus, always bring down. If it's not a plus, do 2 pen strokes and make it a plus. Okay, multiply straight across, essay. Negative 1 times 4 is negative 4. And 3 times 4 is 12. Now I got common denominators. It's going to work every time. If you do this little trick, this multiply by 1 on each fraction, get common denominators every time. Okay, and instead of our tree, add the numerators. Numerators are the number on top. 9 plus negative 5. If they're on the opposite team, big number minus small number. 9 minus 5. If I got 9 people, 5 people. Now I got 9. Take away 5, I got 5. So that's going to be 5. How do you know what team they're on? The good guys have more people. So it's going to be a positive 5. And in the last step, keep the denominators at 12, 12, 12. 5 twelfths. That's the answer. That's the answer to that problem. Okay, well, what if you got, guess what? I don't care what you got. How about sin thirds minus 2 fifths? How about sin thirds minus 2 fifths? Sin thirds minus 2 fifths. Well, this time I'm not going to make the mistake. I'm going to go straight to the rules, straight to the steps. 2 pen strokes. 1, 2. And again, now, all you got to do is watch my add fractions video, and you already know how to do this. You literally already know how to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to practice. These are tough problems. I got no problem helping you. Okay, step number 2, multiply by 1 using the opposite denominator. This girl takes a peek at that 5. Hey, she's pretty good looking. So 5, and then 5, I got to multiply by 1. So use that 5, divide by itself, it will be 1. And then that girl will take a peek at a tree, and then that guy's a tree, multiply by tree over 3. Any number divided by itself equals 1. So I'm going to multiply by 1. Now, multiply straight across, essay, multiply fractions video. You got to watch it. 5 times sin is 35. 5 times 3 is 13. Bring down a plus, always bring down a plus. Negative 2 times the tree is a negative. Negative numbers times positive numbers are negative numbers. So that's negative 6. And 5 times 3 is 13. Again, you notice I put the negative in the numerator. Don't be sloppy and kind of put it in the middle or the bottom. You'll forget about it. You won't see it, won't know how to do it. But the bottom line is the negative in the numerator, and the bottom is it is positive. Even though it's a subtraction, the denominator will be a positive number. Okay, I got common denominators, 13. 13. All right, so then step number 3, add the numerators. 35 good guys, 6 bad guys. If they're on the opposite team or the opposite sign is what I mean to say. Positives and negatives are opposite sign. The opposite team, big number minus small number. 35 minus 6 is 29. And I know the good guys win because they have more people, so that's a positive 29. And then keep the denominator the same. 15ths, 15ths, 15ths. 29 15ths. Okay, let's keep going, because they might look different. I'll present, the process is the same, but they might look different. Your teacher might give you some tougher problems that look different. So let's do something like negative 3/8 minus negative 1/9. Oh, gross. You know, honestly, it's the same as what we've done before, but it looks different. I need to take away that intimidation by putting 2 pen strokes. That's why I put it right here at the top, 2 pen strokes. Get rid of the subtraction garbage. When you see subtraction and negative, subtracting and negative, you put 1 pen stroke right there, put another pen stroke right there, and you stare at addition. We can go to war with addition. We can do it because my adding integers video. Okay, so step number 1, 2 pen strokes done. Step number 2, multiply by 1 using opposite denominator. This dude's an 8. He must be a model, like a boy model or something. And that girl's a model. Holy cow. There's a match made in heaven. So the boy takes a peek at the girl. She's a 9. Of course, she's better looking. 9 over 9. And the girl takes a peek at that model. It's about time. 8 over 8. And then multiply straight across, essay. 9 times 3 is negative 20 cent. Negative 20 cent. 9 times 8 is 72. Bring down a plus. Always bring down a plus. 1 times 8 is 8. 9 times 8 is 72. And guess what? We got common denominators. That's why we do that step. And that's why if you already have common denominators, you can skip the step, honestly. But we needed them, so we had to do that step. Step number 3, add the numerators. That's the numbers on top. 20 sin bad guys plus 8 good guys. 20 sin bad guys plus 8 good guys. That's going to be negative 19, I think. Negative 19. And then the last one, to keep the denominator the same, 72, 72, 72. Negative 19 70-seconds. That will be the answer. Negative 19 over 72. Well, let's keep cruising. Let's go. Tree over 2. Oh, what the heck? Tree over 2. 3 halves minus sin sixteenths. 3 halves minus sin sixteenths. Well, step number 1, 2 pen strokes. Won't make that mistake again. So 2 pen strokes. 1, 2. That's an easy step. Don't look at all this. Oh, all this hard work. What the heck? That was so easy. And we're done. Multiply by 1 on the opposite denominator. This boy's a... Okay, this boy's a 2. That girl's a 16. She's like a princess or something. How'd she get stuck with that guy? Do you know how that works sometimes? You're wondering, how'd that guy get that girl? Man, that guy must have a lot of money. Okay, so this guy... It's like she's got to kiss that toad or something, turn him into a prince or something, because tunis, well, whatever. So, whatever. Okay, 16. So look at that 16. So times by 16 over the 16. And then the other side, a 2. So times this by 2 over the 2. And then multiply straight across, SA. 16 times 3 is 38. So 38. 16 times 2 is the 32. Bring down a plus, always bring down a plus. Negative sin times 2, that's a negative 13. And 16 times 2 is the 32. And it's common denominators. That's the whole point of doing this. Get a common denominator. Now, I hear you nerds in the back. Yeah, but Mr. Hanson, you could reduce it and cancel it. And you can only go to the 16. You don't have to go to the 32. Yeah, I know. And if you already know that, congratulations. But don't mess up my viewers. My viewers don't understand that. You giving them that is going to confuse them. So don't talk to them about that. Let them do the rules and the steps and be successful on their own, okay? So back off. You do my steps, you just, don't listen to the nerds. Don't listen to them, you guys. I'm telling you right now, don't listen to those guys. They're going to say, oh, it's a different way. Yeah, there's all kinds of different ways. But teachers teach that way and the kids fail. I teach this way, and it's a little bit of an extra step for you to get the right answer. You're going to be okay. So I advise you do it this way. Okay, so multiply by 1 else and the number, done. Add the numerators. Numerators are the numbers on the top. 48 good guys plus 14 bad guys. On the opposite team, big number minus small number. So 48 minus 14. I think that's 34. So this will be right here, 35. And the good guys and bad guys, the good guys had more people, so it'll be positive 35. And then 32, keep the denominator the same. So 32. I'm going to simplify this real quick. This is 17/16. Again, you're not required to know how to simplify fractions yet. I haven't taught it to you. If you need to know, I'll put a video up there for simplifying fractions. But the bottom line is the right thing to do, so I will do it. But I'll explain another video. This video is getting way too long. But I hope that was helpful. 2 pen strokes, I made the error on this one, but I caught it because I always bring down a plus. So 2 pen strokes, multiply by 1 using the opposite denominator, and then multiply straight across. Watch my multiplying fractions video. I told you at the beginning, watch my multiply fractions video. Multiply straight across, that's how you do it. Okay, then add the numerators, that's the numbers on the top. And then keep the denominators the same. Simplify if you need to, but that's subtracting fractions. I honestly hope you're good at this now. Take some practice. Rewatch the video if you need to, and just remember, never stop learning.